But again, going back to when we talk about education before, it's not for everyone. This is one of my pet peeves. So I did do the academic route and been to uni a few times, whatever. But say if you teach in business, you could go and do an MBA at pick a university, and they'll talk about resilience and what you should do in the pandemic and what you should do here. But those people teaching that stuff didn't go through it. I remember, because there's an offshore energy company that I help run, and I remember when it kicked off, and we're like, do we send people home? Do we not? What? And the point is, you have lived experience from, as a business owner, as a marketer, as a manager, as a mother, that kind of thing. So I would always 100% take your opinion on how to do stuff, because to be crude, when your cock's on the block, it's a different decision to tell someone, oh, the theory is that you should do this. And this is one of my other pet peeves. I'm going to, on my live stream on Friday morning, I'm going to discuss traditional business university MBAs against challenger alternative MBAs. And it's the whole thing of where I don't give a crap about your Harvard referencing system to talk about the theory of that versus that versus that. This is what you actually have to do to make some money, to pay your bills. And they're worlds apart.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if you want that, go for that. But actually, if you want to know how to become a thriving marketer, look at fabric, look at different stuff, because you've been there and you've done it. And it's that, I think it's really important. That's, again, part of the reason why I love to do this, is that I remember with us, it was like, do we fellow people? What is fellow?
Yeah.
Do we get assistance loan? And there was so much stuff that I've lived through it as you did. And it's tough. And I really respect that.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I love that approach around, I love your strap line, real world education. Had you not had that, I would have totally pinched that, because that is brilliant. But this is what I think we need now, as our generations are coming up behind us. They don't need necessarily to be taught by academics all the time. And, I'm not rubbishing that route in any way, shape or form. There is a place for university, and there are lots of people who thrive and really need that rigor and that discipline and that process to learn.
But it's a different sport. And the analogy you go into sport is that, imagine you have to run a marathon. You can either learn from an actual runner that runs the marathon, or a sports scientist who might teach you about how muscles degrade and rebuild stronger to do with the proteins and stuff. Only one of them is going to make you actually run faster. Yeah. But when it comes down to your income and paying your bills and actually and that's the difference that, for me, and rightly or wrongly, and the more experience you get, you kind of see past the veil, you see past the curtain about what actually you need. Yeah. Going back to what you said before about hiring people, for me, it's all about character. And I don't care what your CV is and what your certificates are. It's about the person and what, how do you, especially in marketing, show me what you've done. Because so many people talk the talk, but their stuff is crap and you can see it.
And it's interesting because through my business journey, I've had a series of different mentors, some which have been more like business growth coaches. So they teach you how to grow a business, but they've never done it themselves. So the minute you throw the question about, well, in this circumstance, how did you do this? It blows their mind. I've then had a set of mentors who were not marketers, weren't in my industry at all, but had ran and grown really, really successful businesses. In fact, one of those mentors turned into my non-exec for a period of time. And they were invaluable in my decision making and helping me see about what I was going to do. Because the minute we talk about those growth pillars, and I'd say, but in this circumstance, what would we do here? When I did this, this is what I did, and they can really resonate with what you're kind of weighing up. Whereas the growth coachy type people, they haven't actually done it themselves. So,
that's one of the things that I deal with, is that so when I first set up, it was 2 years ago. So I was 37, and yes, I had really good jobs, and I knew I was good at doing stuff. I hadn't read the book yet, and a lot of the people that I compete with are 57. And a lot of them are old white male and stale. And it's that classic thing, but they all talk the talk. But when you actually look at their actual businesses, not what they tell you about, but their actual, none of them have really done anything. And so part of my approach was, you know what, I'm just going to show you, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to write the book, I'm going to scale, I'm going to launch this, I'm going to launch that, I'm going to do it. And then if you don't want to hire me, that's fine. But at least it's hard to criticize, to say that, he doesn't know what he's talking about. When I show you twice a week, every week, I show the progress, and it's that kind of... But that again goes down to, I hire people and I spend money with people that have proven the stuff, the goodies. Yeah. And far too many people talk the talk, especially on Instagram and stuff. And you're like, mate, anyway.